Hannah. Today I am going to be giving you guys an update on my braces, and it's actually pretty exciting. A lot has happened since my last update. My last update was at 7 months and I am currently at 11 and a half months. In my video prior, I was telling you guys about how I had just got my surgery done and I was experiencing great pain every time that I would eat or drink anything hot, cold, or anything like sweet. It was just super sensitive in that area. So I went back to my orthodontist and I did an update like a week later in the description bar. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but if not, I will go ahead and give you that update now. I went back to my orthodontist and it turns out the chain was too tight. My gums were not used to that tension and all that pulling, so it was like the chain was kind of like wedged in my gum because it was so tight, and that was causing all of that pain. So they loosened the chain. Everything was fine. I went to my oral surgeon a couple weeks after that and I got the packing removed, and I kind of wish they wouldn't have packed it in the first place. The only reason that they did was because my oral surgeon knew that I had a really low tolerance for pain, so he thought that packing it when I ate and I drank, it wouldn't irritate up, because I mean it was a big hole in the roof of my mouth, so he thought it wouldn't irritate it, which it didn't. Everything was fine. It was just that wire that was too tight that was irritating, but the actual hole in my mouth, it only hurt for a couple of days. So I went back in, he took the packing out. That was what I went there for. And while he took the packing out, when he was pulling it out, the chain came off with it. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer. And he's like, oh my gosh, this never happens, you know, but we'll just attach it. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, sorry. So sorry. He was like, oh, it's no big deal, we'll just attach it really quickly and you'll be on your way. And I was like, okay, that's all right. So he tried to attach it, but my gums were bleeding, so the bracket wouldn't attach back to the tooth. He was taking gauze and just like shoving it up in my gum to stop the bleeding. And you know, when you're bleeding from somewhere, you apply pressure and it should stop the bleeding. Well, in this case, it didn't. It did not. So like, I'm sorry, honey. We're gonna have to inject you with some local anesthetics again, and numb you, and do the surgery again. And I was like freaking out and my mom wasn't there this time because it wasn't supposed to be like this, so she didn't come. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's such a baby, I can't handle this. Redid the surgery, but this time he cut away more gum tissue. Like they used this little like cauterizing thing, and it, you know, just cuts away the gum tissue. So there was an even bigger hole in my mouth, and more of the tooth was exposed, which I did not have a problem with because I figured if more tooth is exposed, the less it has to cut through the gum, so I'm okay with that. And just let you know, if they do use that little cauterizing tool, I don't know what it's called, then it's gonna smell, because that's your flesh being like burned away, so it doesn't smell very good. It's a little heads up. Don't get freaked out if you're like, whoa, my mouth's burning, what's going on in there? That's what's going on. After that, it was fine. He did not pack it, thankfully. He just left it open, so it was kind of a setback because if he wouldn't have packed it in the first place, that probably wouldn't have happened. So I got set back by like 2 or 3 weeks, but it's okay. I got my packing taken out, surgery redone, the wire, they reattached it to a tube to continue to pull it down, and ever since then everything has been going so super smooth. It's been awesome. I just went to my orthodontist last week and he said that I could even possibly get my braces off a little early because I'm doing so awesome with the treatment, do everything that they tell me to do. And except for floss my teeth, I don't do that very often. I need to, and I'm sure that's really gross, and I'm so sorry that I just shared that with you guys. You should floss your teeth. Floss your teeth. Okay, flossing is your friend. That's what the dentist always tells me when I go. She always tells me flossing is your friend. And I know it is, but it's just a pain in my butt. But I know once I get my braces off, I am going to floss because I don't want anything to mess up my smile when I get my braces off. But I mean, I floss now, just not as often as I should. It's hard to floss with braces, it is, but let's see. So yeah, progress. He said everything's looking awesome. Even got some rubber bands put on, but I only wore them for a month. I went in on my last appointment, but my appointment before that, he told me that I didn't need to wear rubber bands. So I started on that, and it was only right over here because I don't have a tooth over here to attach this side to. I wore them for a month. They were fine. They hurt like the first day because, you know, your mouth's adjusting to them, so it hurt the first day, but after that it was fine. I liked them. I didn't have any problem with them. I even wore them more than I should have because they say take them out when you eat and when you brush your teeth, and I left them in when I ate unless I was eating something that was big and I had to like open my mouth really wide, but I would take them out when I brush my teeth, and you wear them when you're sleeping pretty much all the time. I kept them in my car and at my house because sometimes they pop and you want to make sure you have them with you at all times. sometimes, because if they pop and you're out somewhere, then you can't really do anything. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I have to have my rubber band so I can get my braces off really good. And when I went back last time, the orthodontist was like, let's not wear rubber bands yet. Let's wait until we close this gap that I have over here. I have a tooth that I had extracted like a couple years ago, and they're closing that gap. So he's like, let's wait till we get that gap closed. That way it doesn't kind of differ from your bite any. They also attached a wire chain and an elastic chain to this half of my mouth over here, and I will show you guys what that looks like. It kind of looks like a power chain. I think it's like almost the same thing. I mean, it does the same thing, it sounds like. It just basically closes gaps faster. So it hurt for like the first and second day, but after that it wasn't a big deal. That is what the top half of my mouth looks like, and the bottom. I showed you guys the bottom as well. Even though there's really not much progress on the bottom, there's not much that needed to be done other than I had a little crowding up here, which is gone now, and my lower arch was, I'm trying to think of a good way to explain this. My lower arch was kind of wide, so they closed it some. So as you can see, when I showed you guys like a panoramic view of my mouth, you could see, if you looked to my prior video, you can see that it's a little bit slimmer or more closed. Go back to my tooth that's coming down. Surprisingly, that doesn't hurt. You really don't have very many nerves in the roof of your mouth, and so that coming down, it really doesn't hurt. Honestly, since I've had my braces on, that has only hurt maybe one day, other than when I had my surgery, of course. And I'll show you guys in the pictures how awesome my tooth is moving down. Hope that it continues to make good progress, because once it breaks through that gum tissue, it's going to move into place like that. Once I actually get like a big bracket on there, and once the wire goes through that, it's going to move into place no problem. Once that tooth does come down into place, then they are going to attach a bigger bracket to the tooth that's coming down and to this tooth here, because this has no bracket on it right now. And the reason why it doesn't have a bracket, I think I might explain this in my last video, but I did an x-ray last time I went in, so a couple weeks ago, and the teeth were not, they were hitting each other maybe a little bit, but not too much. Their pathways were pretty much cleared. So my orthodontist was like, great, we can put a bracket on this sideways tooth here and get it moving into place, and not worry about that other tooth hitting it. But then he's like, you know what, even though their pathways are cleared, we're gonna wait a little bit, because we're just gonna focus on getting that tooth down completely, and then we'll attach a bracket to both of the teeth, the tooth that's moving down and this sideways tooth here. And the reason why this tooth is looking so crazy right now is because of the tooth that's moving down. Because I had my first x-ray a year ago when I first got my braces, the roots were hitting each other. And so once, like, the tooth that's in my gum, once that started to come down, then it started to move this tooth. So it looks pretty crazy right now, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I'd rather it not look crazy, but I know that the roots are going to be healthy and that I'm not going to have any nerve damage. Because if, let's just say for any reason, you know, they did attach a chain or bracket to this one and to the tooth in my gum, and they started moving those at the same time and they're hitting each other, that's two teeth that are forcefully hitting each other, and that can cause nerve damage, and I could possibly even lose my tooth. So my tooth in the gum is pretty much just taking over, taking control, and doing what it wants to that other tooth, and that's okay right now. Didn't give me a time frame, but I'm guessing I'm gonna have a bracket on both of the teeth in a few months, maybe like 3 to 4 months. I am hoping that my tooth will continue to move down fast and I can get this going, because once I have a bracket on this tooth and the tooth in my gum, it's gonna make a huge difference on my smile. Like, this side of my mouth is you know, not close to being how it should be, but it looks a lot better than this side. My pain level so far is pretty moderate. I really don't have any pain unless, you know, I get like a bigger wire or they're tightening the chin. So other than that, I mean, I really don't have any pain, and that only lasts for like a day and then I'm good to go. That's pretty much it. I think this was a really exciting update. I think so, because I feel like so much has happened, and I've had a setback, but I'm also making really good progress too. So I'm super excited. Hopefully guys, I have 13 more months with my braces, but hopefully the braces gods will work their magic and I won't have to have these on for the full 13 months. Fingers crossed. So if you have any other questions, you want me to go into anything more into detail, just leave a comment down below. I promise to get back with you, and I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!